talking, please?
On a brisk January day in 1993, William Jefferson Clinton was sworn into office as the 42nd President of the United States. Little did he know his first term would be a roller coaster ride of triumphs and tribulations, shaping domestic and foreign policies for years to come. Less than 2 weeks later, on February 5th, President Clinton signed the Family Medical Leave Act, allowing workers to take unpaid leave for family or medical reasons.
That caused an explosion to rip through the PATH train station below the trade centers just after noon today, sending shockwaves through the buildings where as many as 100,000 people were at work. The explosion has killed 4, that is the number at this hour, and it has injured more than 200. All day long, a steady stream of survivors emerged from 2 of the world's tallest buildings, but many, of course, are still.
However, tragedy struck just weeks later when a bomb exploded in the World Trade Center, killing 6 people and injuring over 1,000. It was a stark reminder of the challenges facing the new administration.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Janet Reno, do solemnly swear
I, Janet Reno, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully perform
that I will well and faithfully perform
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
the duties of the office on which I am now about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
General Reno, congratulations.
On March 11th, 1993, Janet Reno made history as the first woman to serve as Attorney General, bringing a fresh perspective to the Department of Justice. The summer of 1993 saw tensions escalate in the Middle East as the U.S. Navy launched a missile attack on Baghdad in response of alleged Iraqi threats against American aircraft. On July 20th, 1993, tragedy struck again with the death of White House Deputy Counsel Vince Foster, which sent shockwaves throughout the administration.
Justice Ginsburg, will you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, do solemnly swear
I, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter,
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
so help me God.
So help me God.
On August 3rd, 1993, a woman named Ruth Bader Ginsburg was appointed as Supreme Court Justice by President Clinton. In December, President Clinton fulfilled a campaign promise by signing the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA for short, creating a free trade zone between the United States, Canada, and Mexico. As his first term progressed, President Clinton demonstrated his commitment to international diplomacy by attending a NATO summit, reaffirming America's role in global security.
The enormous explosion at a federal building in Oklahoma City this morning was the work of terrorists. The bomb went off just as hundreds of people had showed up for work, just as children had been dropped off at a daycare center on the second floor. In one devastating moment, the whole front side of the building was ripped away. There is simply no way to be specific about how many people have lost their lives. But the death toll is clearly increasing as the hours go by and emergency teams work their way through the devastation. We do know that 17 children were killed in the daycare center, others injured. It was easy to see why the governor of Oklahoma said this was the work of animals. Our first report is from Aaron Hayes.
However, tragedy struck once again on April 19, 1995, as a domestic terrorist attack rocked Oklahoma City, claiming the lives of 168 people and prompting a nationwide outpouring of grief and solidarity.
Who was on the scene?
Despite tensions with Russia, President Clinton worked tirelessly to improve bilateral relations, fostering cooperation on issues ranging from nuclear arms control to economy development. Undeterred from political challenges, President Clinton delivered a stirring State of the Union address on January 23, 1996, outlining his vision for a prosperous and inclusive America. In a landmark speech, President Clinton famously declared his support for abortion rights, emphasizing the need for policies that are, and I quote, safe, legal, and rare. Gloria Steinem, a famous feminist activist, went on record saying President Clinton's support for abortion rights was a victory for women's health and reproductive freedom. His commitment to protecting access to safe and legal abortion was a testament to his dedication to equality and justice for all Americans. Meanwhile, the Whitewater investigations continue to loom over the Clinton administration, with the President and the First Lady facing allegations of financial impropriety dating back to their time in Arkansas. Ken Starr, former independent counsel, was quoted in saying, "The Whitewater investigation was a thorough and exhaustive effort to uncover the truth surrounding allegations of financial impropriety involving the Clintons. While the outcome may have been controversial, it underscores the importance of accountability and integrity in our political system." On September 3, 1996, in the final few months of his first term, President Clinton authorized missile strikes against Iraq in response of Saddam Hussein's continued defiance of international weapons inspections. After 4 years of triumphs and challenges, President Clinton was re-elected to a second term, securing a mandate to continue his work to build a brighter future for the U.S. On May 27, 1997, in Paula Jones versus Clinton, Paula sued Clinton, alleging sexual advances he made on her while he was still governor of Arkansas.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
The Clinton-Lewinsky scandal was a sexual scandal involving then-President Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, a White House intern. Relations between the two lasted from 1995 and then ended in 1997. On December 16, 1998, after the U.S. sent retaliation attacks to Iraq, Bill Clinton was quoted in saying, "In response to Saddam Hussein's continued defiance of international weapons inspections, we have launched targeted airstrikes to degrade Iraq's weapon capabilities and protect regional stability."
Good evening. We're presenting a special one-hour edition on a momentous day at home and overseas. President Clinton stands impeached by the U.S. House of Representatives. He faces trial early next year and possible removal from office by the U.S. Senate. He also faces political pressure to resign. The president says flatly no. In an atmosphere of rancor and partisanship, the U.S. House approved 2 of 4 impeachment counts, yes to 1 count of perjury and 1 of obstruction of justice.
The House of Representatives vote to impeach President Clinton on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice, setting the stage for the historic trial in the Senate. President Clinton meets with Russian President Vladimir Putin for the first time, signaling a new chapter in U.S.-Russian relations and efforts to promote peace and stability worldwide. On January 20th, 2001, as President Clinton's second term comes to an end, a new chapter in American history begins with the inauguration of President George W. Bush and the transition of power to a new administration.